What's going on, guys? GodFox here, and I'm bringing you back another commentary video with another story time. Well, yeah, we'll do a story time in this video. I was gonna do a conspiracy video, but no, let's do a story time. But today, got some new settings for my microphone. Got some Back for Blood gameplay in the background. Really good game, y'all. I highly recommend y'all playing it. It's a really good game, and just please check it out. PC. Xbox, I don't know about PlayStation, I don't play that PlayStation, but highly recommend the game. I fell in love with the game. I'm going to pre-order it, and just check it out, please. It's just a really fun game in my opinion. But off of that topic already, today's story is about me going to the dentist, and we're going to see how I unfold it into the story. So basically, I had to get my wisdom teeth removed, and it wasn't very fun. So it started off when I was just eating some food, when I was just eating some chips, and when I grabbed the bag of chips, I was like, I'm pretty hungry today. So I was like, it's some good food, and then I'm like, ow, the back of my teeth really hurt, and I don't like that. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm kind of getting worried because I don't like surgery at all. Like, ever since I was a kid, I just hated the idea of someone operating on me. I hate surgery. I hate needles. I hate knives and everything going into my skin. So basically, I go and tell my mom. I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling too good in my mouth. I'm pretty nervous about my teeth. And she's like, okay, well, we'll make a dentist appointment. So about a week later, we go to the dentist, and the dentist is like, alright, we're going to do a cleaning. And so before we do the cleaning, I end up telling the dentist, hey, I'm actually feeling a lot of pain. Please, can you check this out, please? Because I am really scared about what would happen when y'all clean my teeth, and if it's my wisdom teeth. So basically, I'm really scared of them doing surgery on me. Not doing surgery. Well, I am scared of surgery. But what I'm really scared of is them cleaning my teeth. And if it's my wisdom teeth that are hurting, then it's going to hurt even more when they're cleaning my teeth, because my wisdom teeth want to come out. So I tell them about this pain. So they're putting their fingers in my mouth, and they're like, oh, do you feel pain here? Yep, I can feel it all the way up to my ear. They're like, well, that's not good. It's definitely your wisdom teeth. They're ready to come out. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not comfortable with that. We're like, well, you got to get it out because you're just going to be feeling pain the rest of your life. I was like, well, okay, I guess I got to suck it up. So we go to the dentist, the receptionist dentist, and then basically they're telling me, okay, so in about a month, you got to go to the orthodontist to go get some surgery done on your wisdom teeth. And I'm like, why a month? Well, because that's when he's in. He's always taking like a month break, or he's working the whole month, and then you can finally see a patient. So basically he's working on a lot of people per day. I'm like, okay, so I'm dealing with wisdom tooth pain for a whole month, and it sucks. And I have to eat like soft foods, like soup. Nah, I don't eat soup, but I have to eat like soft foods. Like I've been eating pudding, jello, macaroni, eggs, over easy eggs. That's all I was eating for the whole month. So I was eating up pretty good. I love those foods. So eventually it comes around to the month, the end of the month. And so basically when I get there, I'm nervous, I'm jittery because I'm really nervous. I hate surgery. So we get there, and about 10 to 15 minutes later, they call my name, and I'm like, okay, well, this is great. I'm not ready. I'm really scared. So I go in. So everyone's all nice. And the doctor comes in. He's like, all right, what do you like to do? And he starts like numbing my mouth with this numbing medicine, and I'm like, I'm like, I can't even speak because I'm so lost for words of how scared and nervous I am. He's like, well, it's okay, you don't have to be nervous. I'm like, oh, how long does it take? How long is the procedure? Oh, 15 minutes per person. I'm like, oh, nice. So I'm wearing my Goku jacket, so Goku has the turtle symbol on his shirt, and it's a Japanese symbol. And he sees it, and he's like, oh, what's that mean? And I'm like, oh, it means turtle. Oh, you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I'm like, yeah, I like Ninja Turtles. So later on, he starts trying to operate, and he starts like pricking me with like some needles. I'm like, are you gonna give me some laughing gas? He's like, didn't someone give you it before? No. Oh, okay. So they they come back with someone, and they're like, all right, we're gonna give you the gas. And so I'm breathing it in, and it feels too strong. So I'm breathing it in, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is normal. This is the normal amount. It's probably supposed to be strong to like make me like, ooh. So I'm breathing it in, and let me tell you, it was terrible. Like it was this weird smell, and it was just going in, and it felt like a weight was on my brain combined with the cloud, and it was locking my memories. That's what it felt like to be under that gas, under that amount of pressure in that gas. So they're operating my mouth, and then they're saying, "Oh, can you breathe?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's too much. It's too much." And it felt so weird, like if I was having a weight lifted on, like weight on my body, and I couldn't speak. So he's like, "What do you mean?" And all of a sudden, like I couldn't see because I have my eyes closed, and so I hear one of them say, "Holy crap! He's breathing it all in," and it makes me panic in my head. I'm like, "Uh-oh, am I gonna die?" So, and I was calm about it because I was under the gas. So later on, they get another guy in. He's like, "All right, we're gonna give you some oxygen for about 15 minutes." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm breathing in. I'm getting nervous, but he's like, "All right, just try to breathe it in and out, and it's okay to laugh if you want." So I'm like, so like I'm breathing in and out slowly, and so eventually, I start calming down, and then the doctor comes in. "Is he ready?" And he's like, "Yes, he's ready." So the doctor comes in. He's like, "All right, we're gonna start working on you." So like he starts numbing my mouth with these numbing gels. I'm like, okay, and oh my god, these numbing gels are super strong. I didn't like it. Well, I mean, I liked it a lot whenever I didn't feel the pain, but I didn't like how strong it was. So I couldn't feel my lips, my tongue, my throat, or anything in my mouth. I couldn't feel that at all. So eventually they start putting a needle in my mouth, and they're like, "Can you feel this?" And I felt a sharp pain. I'm like, "Yes." "All right, we're gonna put a little bit more gel." So they put more gel into into my mouth, and so later on they said, "All right, we're gonna start working." And I just hear ding, zing, zing, like a bunch of like tools being used, drills and everything, knives, but I can't see none of this, and I don't feel nothing. I just feel my head moving around a lot. So I'm like, okay. And after all that noise was over, the doctor says, "Did you feel any of that?" "No." "Okay, good, because the first tooth's already out." I'm like, oh god, why did you ask me afterwards? He's like, "Be quiet now. Just shut your mouth so we can record, or not record. Shut your mouth so I can just proceed." And I'm like, okay, that was kind of rude. So I be quiet. And then he asked me a question, and I try to answer the question, and he's like, "Be quiet." I'm like, what the heck? And so in the middle of the procedure, I start kind of choking on liquid. So I'm like trying to point with my hand. I'm like, oh, oh, oh. And then the doctor's like, "Put your hands down. If you close your mouth, then it's really gonna hurt." I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to like endure the pain, endure the suffering. And so eventually, I have my eyes closed for a minute, and I hear it cracking, and I can feel my jaw kind of moving, and it's kind of hard. I'm like, oh my god! And all of a sudden something popped, and I'm like, oh! And then the doctor says, "Oh, don't worry about that. I'm just breaking your jaw." And I'm like, oh! And so one of the other doctors is like, "Maybe you shouldn't say that to him because he's under the gas and he's gonna believe everything you say." And he's like, all right, all right, all right. So eventually, I ended up believing him, but it wasn't true. But after the procedure was over, he closed up my mouth, and like I looked fat. I looked like a puffer fish being fresh out of the wild. So literally the next few hours were miserable. One of the most miserable time of my life. It was so painful. Well, let me tell you what happened first. So I get home after the surgery was completed. So once I get home after the surgery, I'm like, all right, well, time to drink some chocolate milk. And I'm trying to put the milk in my mouth, and I can't feel anything. I can't feel cold. I can't feel heat. Nothing. I don't feel liquid. I just feel nothing. So I'm like, is it in my mouth? And I'm looking, and the chocolate milk is pouring out of my mouth onto the floor. I'm like, bruh, it's too strong of a numbing medicine. So eventually, I had to like keep my head up just to drink liquids and eat food. But then as soon as the numbing medicine wore off, oh my god, it was like hell. So my mouth was in so much pain. It was like someone had punched my mouth and broke it a bunch of times. It was painful. It was so terrible. So I just kept taking medicine, and it was so bad that I was crying. I was like, oh my god, it hurts. So then after all the excruciating pain that I went through from getting my wisdom teeth taken out, and after about a whole month, I was able to start eating normally, and the pain subsided, and I was super happy about that. And I was like, oh, thank God, the pain is gone. But I would have to be careful about like chips and everything, because they can cut open my my wound again, and I couldn't really eat like through straws because it would make a pocket. So I was kind of scared that I would have a dry socket. So I was like, oh, okay. Everything seems to be fine, and everything's golden, and I am pretty much good to go. So, yeah. Moral of the story is, guys, don't ever feel that much pain whenever you're taking the surgery. I'm just kidding. I don't even know what your sense of pain is, whoever is, y'all. I'm sorry about the dog barking in the background. She got upset. But anyway, guys, if y'all enjoyed, just please like and subscribe, comment as always, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.